Griffey. What up? Like, comment, subscribe, follow at John Marks Media on all social platforms. And of course on YouTube. What's up, everybody? Watching live, it's Thursday at 9 p.m. Otherwise, if you're watching, it doesn't let you fade it. I feel like I'm slowly bringing it down. There it is. I guess I just have to be a little bit slower. What's up, everybody? Saquon Barkley. So here's where I am right now with Saquon Barkley. The GM in me says it's worth going, and I don't even like to say the real amount of years in a contract because it's all nonsense anyway. But really, I'd be willing to guarantee more or less 2 years of the contract. I'd go $20 million guaranteed. And I think Saquon Barkley would take less to join the Eagles. We're going to play some sound from Tiki Barber in a second from WFAN today, from late this afternoon. They realize that this is a real possibility, and they're already saying, are you really going to do this? Are you really going to leave the Giants and go to the Eagles? Wait till you hear what Tiki has to say. It's like, it makes me like, this is a best possible scenario ever. I don't even care about the years and the dollars anymore. If you're telling me Saquon Barkley is going to come to the Eagles and Giants fans are going to be just totally gutted because they wasted the second overall pick on a running back, they franchised him, then he came to the Eagles. He's going to come here and have 2 great years, and then he's going to get hurt or he's going to be gone, or both. So this is best case scenario for me. In all honesty, the Eagles, if I'm Howie Roseman, he's got a lot of work to do on defense. But they're already committed next year to these veterans. So where are you really going to add to the defense? A safety? You have your corners. You have some young players. You have draft picks. You're going to add some players, veteran players on defense. You're going to have to draft some defensive players. But your offense is really your bread and butter, and that's what's going to win you games. Getting this offense back to being dynamic, you still have A.J. Brown. You still have Devontae. Dallas Goedert, I've always thought is overrated or has been talked about more than he actually is. And I think he's a good player. But maybe it's just the offense. They don't use the offense. They don't use the tight end in this offense. Now, I know it's a new offense that Kellen Moore's bringing in, but still, he's been fine. I don't think he's been a bust or anything like that. But I've always wanted more production out of Dallas Goedert than he's given us at least the last 2 years. But they're missing a dynamic running back. And I was in on Bijan Robinson in the Eagles drafting Bijan Robinson because I looked at a game-changing running back. Now, he wasn't that player last year in Atlanta. We'll see with a new offensive coordinator, a new offensive focus, if they can turn him into this dynamic running back that they took. He probably was, or he was overdrafted. Regardless, he's got talent. Saquon Barkley's got real talent, in particular in the passing game and the running game. He's a dynamic running back. So you get him here and you're looking this as 2 years. The Eagles aren't taking a step back. And you give me an offense with Jalen Hurts, getting him back to where he needs to be, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, another wide receiver in here. They need to add to the wide receiver room. And I'll tell you, that's one of the best offenses in football. Jalen's got to get back to being Jalen, but you're giving him a supporting cast that it gives him the best possible opportunity to do that. So that's why I look at Saquon Barkley. Yeah, you could go and you could have a running back by committee and you could pay a guy $2-3 million a year, or you could say, hey, listen, let's go for it. I'm ready to go for it, man. We'll play you Tiki Barber coming up in a second. Let's welcome in Delco Steve. By the way, the show, and you can see it, it's sponsored by ShopEveryLittleDetail.com, but this is the Leap Phillies shirt.
Nice.
Available right now at ShopEveryLittleDetail.com. My wife asked me, did you promote that? And I said, well, no, because you gave me the shirt, but I really hadn't worn it because I hadn't washed it yet. So I said, all right, let me wear it tonight and let's talk about it. So as the Phillies are starting.
You're a week late. You're a week late for that.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said to her. I said, you said before the leap year. But, I don't know. But it was weird. I got a text message from I had Mike Gill on last week when you were on the date, and he was going down to Clearwater with his radio show. And a lot of times they put you up at Shepherd's, which is a place right there in the middle of Clearwater. I got a text message from Shepherd saying like, "Hey, your check-in time's 4:00," and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, huh?
They had WIP reservations still.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So I got that, and then I mentioned this. Someone actually mentioned last night. They talked about the Flag and Anthem flannel that I was wearing.
Yep.
This is another Flag and Anthem flannel. I got a bag today from Flag and Anthem. I didn't order it. I placed.
You dropped their name last night, and they send you a shirt. That's nice.
But it was the next day. No, that. So what must be happening is they might be starting to advertise in April, and they don't realize that I'm not there. So because they would send me a bag of stuff before the advertising campaign, and then I could wear it and take pictures and talk about it and whatever. So maybe they think I'm still working at WIP, and they're like, "Oh yeah, so boom." I'm not sending it back. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, they got a shout out 2 days in a row.
They got a shout out. Flag and Anthem, but for real, Flag and Anthem has great stuff. FlagandAnthem.com. Check it out. All right, so Tiki Barber, and by the way, Tiki is I think Tiki's a great dude. I've worked with him before. I've met him and interviewed him in person on multiple occasions. Tiki's he would be down here every once in a while. He'd be down in Philly. He'd use our studios there to do his afternoon show. But I'm a fan of Tiki, right? Like Giants fans didn't really like Tiki at the end, if you remember. But anyway, so he's doing afternoons with Evan Roberts up there on WFAN in New York. And that's got to be a big story up there. Is Saquon, are they bringing him back or is he leaving? Holy bleep. He's going to go to the Eagles. Here's Tiki Barber talking about it.
That Saquon would even contemplate going to play for that team in Philadelphia is insulting to his Giant history and legacy. Saquon very may well not be a New York Giant. I know that Joe Shane is having conversations, but it just doesn't feel like it's going to work out. Go to Baltimore. Go to Houston. Go to LA Chargers. Do not go to the Philadelphia Eagles, because if you do, that appreciation and respect and reverence that we all have for you, Saquon, will be lost. It'll be gone. We want to still respect and love him. If he goes to Houston and he's down there with C.J. Stroud and they do some great stuff, and hell, he even wins a championship, we'll feel happy for him. Yeah. No matter what happens when he does in Philadelphia, we will hate it. Don't let the nonsense, Saquon. Don't let the Howard Eskins of the world and his traitor son who's going down the road influence you to go into the cesspool of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Go kiss ass.
You're going to turn into one of those people that we hate. Yeah. And we don't want that. Yeah. We don't. Like, we'll respect you, but we'll hate you. And that's not a good thing. Your jersey, that 2-6 that we see all over the stadium, it won't be worn anymore.
Done.
It'll be gone.
Yeah, okay.
Gone. It'll be burned. In some cases. Yeah. Do not, without any doubt, go to Philadelphia.
All right. Well, there he is. Tiki Barber. And it makes me feel so good.
There will still be tons of Saquon jerseys.
You could see the pain. Yeah, but so like let's examine it. And this is why we're a better city, a better football city than New York, without a doubt. Would we have he was talking about this reverence and all this other stuff for Saquon Barkley? Why?
No, it'd be screw you. See, hope the door hits you in the ass.
It would be. You're right, because he wouldn't sign the contract. He's been hurt a lot. Right? Like, he hasn't lived up to the number 2 overall pick up there. Why would I be kissing his ass? You're right, Steve. It would be see ya. Beat it. We don't want you.
We were pissed with T.O. when we like T.O. now as like a fan base, but we were pissed when he left and went to the Cowboys. If he went anywhere else, we probably wouldn't have been as pissed.
But Miles Sanders had a great year his last year in Philadelphia. Did fans really want Miles Sanders back?
Nope.
No, they didn't want him back. No.
We knew if it was for free, sure, we would take him back. But for what he was getting paid, no way.
No, they would, and it was the right move to make, right?
It was a smart move financially, 100%.
Yeah. So here's Howard Eskin this morning on WIP Morning Show. The one thing about Howard, and I normally will text him just to kind of get his gauge on what he thinks about stuff, and he's got contacts down there, so he's telling you what they're telling him. I think sometimes they can almost use him if they want to put propaganda out there. I don't believe that's the case this time. Here's Howard Eskin on the morning show, WAP morning show this morning, talking about Saquon.
I think the Eagles' plan should be, what do you think they will be in free agency?
Well, they obviously need at least one safety. They need, and this may not all be in free agency. They need linebackers. They need, maybe they're not going to send any offensive linemen in free agency. I think that's going to be drafting the players that they have. But I think safety, possibly linebacker, and I didn't believe it, but I checked it. And they do have interest in Saquon Barkley.
Wow. That is a wow.
Yeah.
Woo.
It's just, and I'm saying,
makes sense.
Wait a minute. You can't pay a running back that kind of money. That's why they keep on bouncing around. And, the thing I've always said, you can just shake a tree and running backs come falling out of them. You see all the running backs that are unsigned, but I think they're trying to work on something that would not be fully guaranteed.
Right. There you go. So we talked about this last night, and just for the record, and actually I could probably get him on. So I used to have him on my national show, but Ryan Dunleavy, who's the New York Post, he had said that there's mutual interest between the two. And here's the quote. It said, that interest is mutual. Saquon to Eagles is a real possibility. So that's obviously coming from the agent, so you have to remember, if an agent's putting it out there, he could be putting it out there for a reason, to stir the pot, to try to get other teams involved, and that would work. If you're reading that Eagles are interested in Saquon Barkley and you're the Texans, you're like, well, damn, I want him, so let's check in. But Howard's not getting that from an agent. Howard's getting that from people that are in the know down at the Eagles. So
he's going to his contacts, and obviously his contacts are locked inside the organization.
Right. So when he says something like that, it's like, all right, well, he's talking to people in the organization. They're interested. Now, Howie's not going to give him a 5-year contract for $30 million guaranteed, but he's going to be right there. And he, like you had said at the beginning, Stephen, you're right. I don't even know. Did you say this on the air?
This was us talking before the show.
Yeah, he definitely is vindictive. He's pissed at the Giants that they didn't give him a new contract and he had to be franchised. So if the money is similar, he wants to go to a team that can win. He's from Pennsylvania. He wouldn't have to move to Texas or wherever. He could move right back down towards his home where he grew up, and he could play for the Eagles, NFC East, and he could shove it up the Giants' nose twice a year for the next however many years that he's an Eagle. Yep. And I think that's a big part of it.
I 100% think that. I 100% think that would be play into it. He'd be way up for those games, barring him being healthy.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, so I need on the comments, I need these on the YouTube comments, and even on Twitter. Right now, and you don't have to give your official word until, like, our official answer will be tomorrow night on the show, what to do with Saquon Barkley. But as of right now, I'm fine with going a couple years. So I would say $20 million guaranteed isn't crazy to me. That's more or less you're signing up for 2 years.
That's a big number.
But you're signing up for 2 years.
What's the contract length, though? Are you doing 3 years?
It doesn't matter. So if
I know. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking,
it does. But it doesn't matter. If you give him $20 million guaranteed, that's essentially saying he's here for 2 years. That he's got 2 years of a guaranteed contract. After that, they would probably have to tear up the contract to even do it. Because Howie will put those years 3, 4, and 5 as these dummy years, where that's where they can hide the large cap number to make it work. Howie just kicks everything down. It kicks the can down the road. He doesn't care. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think he's worth $10 million a year for the next two years.
Fair enough.
Do you think he's worth that?
No, probably not.
So a lot of people are saying, well,
it could be different with our offensive line compared to that shithole of the Giants offensive line they've been running out.
DeAndre Swift had, I think, the 4th most rushing yards in football or the conference. He was good. He was good last year. So why would you spend all that guaranteed money when you could get Swift probably at a fraction of that cost right there? And he does have an injury history. Listen, I'm not telling you that there's reasons not to do it.
Swift was the 5th leading rusher
in football. Yeah, he had a good year.
In football.
I hated how the Eagles used him in the second half of the
year. He was third in the NFC behind Christian McCaffrey, obviously, and Kerwin Williams.
Yep. Okay.
And those are two very run dominant teams, obviously.
All right. So give me your per year and how much guaranteed you'd be willing to do it. You seem interested, but you seem interested on like a 1-year deal or
no, I would do two. I would do like a 3-24 with like if it was $8 million a year, and then you figure out the guarantee from there, 18, 19.
15.
Yeah.
$18 million.
You can even come close to guaranteeing all of it for all I
care. I think he gets more than that. I think he'll have a market that gives you more than that.
Oh, I think he'll have a market as well. But it's the same conversation as last year for Eagles fans with Miles Sanders. Would I have re-signed him at a certain number? Yes, but is he going to get more on the open market? Of course he is. That's the way I look at it. But if you could get him on like we were talking about before, if the Texans are coming in at $10 million a year on a 3-year deal and we come in at 8, what do you think he's doing? Do you stick it to the Giants and play for a better team, or you go to an upstart and get that extra $6 million?
That's probably how he tries to suck a couple more $1 million out of the Eagles. Howie's not going to play. He's not going to pay the top dollar out there. He knows. If there's one thing about Howie Roseman, he knows value. He knows how to wait to get what he wants, and normally he doesn't lose in things like this. He's not going to overpay. That's for sure.
And I don't see the need to overpay for Saquon Barkley or even come close to overpaying for Saquon Barkley when you have Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, Tony Pollard, DeAndre Swift are all available names. So these guys are going to beat up on each other on their own. Like they're going to cannibalize each other pretty much.
3 for 33 with $23 million guaranteed. I'm fine with guaranteeing 2 years. I don't know if you need to give him $25 million guaranteed. He hasn't had these monster seasons. This isn't Derrick Henry coming off of having these monster seasons. He's been good, but he's also been injured.
Correct. Yeah, he's missed at least 3
great
games
last year.
He had high ankle sprains the last 2 years for sure. I only know that he's having in fantasy.
He didn't even average 4 yards a carry, I don't think, last year.
Nope.
Bad offensive line.
But that offensive line was atrocious. At 5'8" on a good day, weighing 175 was better than a lot of their offensive linemen.
All right, so save the money and upgrade on defense. But where are you adding on defense?
I don't even. I wanted a lot of what the Bills let go yesterday. If you could work out some of that stuff.
All right, so it seems like they're going to be able to get a safety. There's a lot of safeties that are out there, right?
Yep. Justin Simmons just got released today too.
That's what I'm saying. You may have to pay pretty good money for that, but outside of a safety, which they need. I mean, are they going to spend more money on a veteran corner? They can't get rid of their 2 corners right now. They're not getting rid of them. So they may add a corner into the mix, but you also have draft picks. That's what I said. Like I don't think that they're going to have to add a linebacker. They're not spending big money on linebackers. Nope. Delco Steve. Yeah, so I think.
I saw a thing yesterday saying Patrick Queen, which I would love, would be their number 1 target on free agency. I'm like, do they not know who the GM is?
Right.
So, I mean, yes, would I love Patrick Queen on the Eagles? Hell fucking yes. But it's never going to happen.
Maybe this is the year that they buck that trend and they actually.
Because you think about a oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? Sanford Wagner or no?
Bobby Wagner?
No, what's San Fran's middle linebacker? Why am I blanking?
I'm blanking too.
Like if you have a player like him on your team, he changes everything. He plays at all 3 levels of the defense. Thank you, Fred Warner.
He's one of the best players in football. But where do they get him?
No, that's what I'm saying. I think you should prioritize getting guys like Patrick Queen or trying to draft the next one. But I don't know. They just don't value the linebackers, obviously.
CJGJ's coming. All right, we'll see. He's got an injury history, too. He always seems to have these major freak injuries. He did last year. He did obviously the year he lacerated his kidney or spleen or something. It was a bad injury.
I think it was his spleen.
Oh, man. So with the linebacker, remember, they paid Nigel Bradham a lot of money.
Yep.
When he was a Pro Bowl type player. So it's not like they won't pay a guy. They will.
That's almost a decade ago at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is crazy to think about.
Any chance Howie uses next year as a build year and uses the cap money to eat dead money like Kelsey? But no, because that's what I'm saying is maybe if it doesn't work next year, you try to maybe build. Howard's just not going to do that unless the team sucks with this offense. He's not
They
going to
have
have
too
a
much.
build
They
year.
have too much of a core building blocks to just have a building year.
They've the veteran corners. So what are you going to do? Just waste veteran corners or just wave the white flag and say, well, these guys suck, cut them? No, you're going to try to win.
Yeah,
They were 10-1 to start last year, by the way.
They're still gonna have a great offensive line. Like I think Juergens is going to be able to slot in at center and play well. And then you have those skill positions you were talking about in the opening. It's like, how can you have a rebuilding year with those guys?
Final answer on Thursday: 3 years, $32 million with $20 million guaranteed.
3 years, 32. Yeah, I would do that. I mean, it's essentially
it's all guaranteeing him 2 years.
Yeah, if you could get anywhere between 3 years, 25 to 32 million with 18 to 23 million guaranteed. That's a good deal.
So this isn't a mistake because it feels like that now I'm actually, because I can see Giants fans are
you just want
realizing
to
this is a real possibility. Yeah, I want to stick it up their ass. I do.
Like,
I want them to feel pain.
I don't think you could ever make the mistake of like the Von Miller Bills deal where you just paid the guy
holy cow.
And he gets 0 sacks. It's like that's never gonna, like, you're never gonna have that situation with the Saquon Barkley deal, obviously, because it's not that much money.
I mean, but dude, it's
gonna
also
do
not
something.
No, he could also tear his knee in the first week.
Oh, of course he could. It could be Aaron Rodgers 4 snaps in.
All right. So last year, 14 games, 962 yards rushing, 6 touchdowns. As I said earlier, 3.9 yards a carry. That's not good. And he did have 41 receptions out of the backfield. This is in 14 games. He's an excellent receiving back. He had 91 receptions his rookie year.
Yep.
2022 had 1,312 yards. So this was a comeback year for him because he had been injured the previous 2 years.
Yeah, the ACL, and then he had like 3 ankle sprains the year before.
Yeah, he just couldn't stay healthy that year. He had the ACL, then he couldn't stay healthy. But so 2022, a combined like 1,700 combined rushing and receiving yards, and he doesn't get a lot of touchdowns, which is another thing that you love. Guys, he had 10 rushing touchdowns in 2022. And before
last year, that offense was in shambles with Tommy Cutlets.
No, I agree.
Kind of hard to score touchdowns when you can't get inside the 20.
I agree. Man, you know what? I said this. I said when the 49ers traded for Christian McCaffrey, I said, man, they're giving up a lot. That's a mistake. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. And look what he's done since they traded for him. They're a different team.
He scored every touchdown for like 26 games.
It's one of the best weapons in football. If not the best weapon in football. Him and Tyreek Hill, best weapons in football. And they gave up what like a second and a third and a fourth. And I thought they were crazy. Yeah. And they went on a run when they made that trade. I don't think they lost in the regular season.
They were under 500 when they made the trade.
Dude, it's unbelievable. So I look at, and Saquon, McCaffrey was better than Saquon. Even before McCaffrey had those injuries, he was a better player than Saquon has been. But Saquon has had a couple of special years. So maybe that's what you're looking at, is you're saying, like, hell, if I can get the Saquon that we saw his rookie year or in 2022, you know the difference that can make on this offense? When you have Daniel Jones as your quarterback, it doesn't matter. You have a great running back. So what? It doesn't matter. When you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and if Jalen Hurts can get back to being the player we saw in 2022, your offense can win you a Super Bowl. That's why I think it's worth more of a risk than because otherwise now you have Gainwell. Now what do you have? You're bringing back Swift? Why do I not want Swift back, by the way?
I don't know why I don't want Swift. I think they underutilized Swift last year. It's like you saw what he did in Detroit. He was not the running back.
Well, he couldn't stay healthy.
He was the pass catching running back in Detroit, and we barely used him in that facet this year. I made no sense.
But I wonder.
But they hated throwing the ball to the running backs. Period.
Yeah, I think it was more of an offensive thing. And now you have Kellen Moore, so it could change, especially with
Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott got targeted all the time when he was with the Cowboys. And obviously he had Ellison Eckler last year, who's just a pass catching machine.
Yeah, and maybe they said, like, Kellen Moore, what do you think of Saquon Barkley? And he was like, hell yeah, Saquon Barkley. Yeah, you're right. Look at what he did with the running backs in Dallas. Really like that. Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, Zeke's last year, that was a really, really good 1-2 punch.
Oh, yeah. Uh, I hate Zeke as a Cowboy, but I always thought he got a bad rap as a running back.
He's a good player. The running backs get cooked early. He was cooked when
Oh,
he
yeah.
got, when he was cooked. He was cooked.
200 touches in his first 2 years in
Yeah.
the league.
Yeah, they used them up. That's why it's tough to take a running back that high in the draft. So if they I guess Swift is a fallback plan. It just doesn't seem like they like Swift.
Yeah, I don't get what they were thinking with him, in all honesty. I thought he was going to be way more of a feature back than.
And he's still got 1,000 yards. If Gainwell hurt his rib, he may not even get those starts early in the season where he can pile
when
those
he went
yards
off.
if Gainwell doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, he didn't start the season. It made no sense. Like, what did Kenny Gainwell have on Brian Johnson to?
They love Gainwell.
It made no sense. It still makes no sense.
That's the only thing that I can think is that for whatever reason, and every time Sirianni was questioned about it, he would kind of be over the top in his praise for Gainwell.
Yep.
And how they talk about
another crappy running back draft pick.
Yeah, another running back that's not good that they drafted. All right, well, we'll check in again tomorrow, but it seems like it's a real possibility. Also on the Eagles front, Brandon Graham, he spoke on John Clark's podcast, but he more or less said that he wants to play one more year. This would be the last year, and there's mutual interest with the Eagles and BG. It makes sense. He's going into it saying, "This is my last year." He is I don't know if he's you retire his jersey type player as far as stats, but what he means now to the city and to the team.
Yep.
Man, it's hard.
He's had
a
crazy playing arc. Because you think about when he was. You think about I am 100% guilty of this, and I have totally backtracked on this. We all wanted Earl Thomas in that draft, and they drafted Brandon Graham, and you see the Legion of Boom go off. Seattle wins the Super Bowl with Earl Thomas being a very big focal point of that. And it's like, oh, and we have Brandon Graham, who was a very slow start to his career. And then
remember they traded up, and everybody's like,
"Yep,
we got a replacement for Doc," and they went with Brandon Graham.
Yep, and then you see how he was good. Earl Thomas went like this away, where Brandon Graham was just, but now if you look at it, who would you rather have for the entirety of their career? You're taking Brandon Graham over Earl Thomas, 100%.
Yeah,
probably most of the league would do that.
BG was in today. Sounds like he's coming back. Yeah, I love Brandon. I'm excited. I'm excited for him to finish his career as an Eagle. He should not play anywhere else.
Did you see his tidbit about Fletcher Cox?
No.
He said he doesn't think he's coming back.
No. Yeah, I am, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm ready to move. I'm ready to move on from some of these guys.
Especially when you have Jordan Davis and Carter ready to. Well, hopefully both of them ready to be, more than 50% players.
So so people do think you retire BG's jersey?
I wouldn't care one way or the other.
I know. I mean, I'm not against it. I'm just trying to look at like Harold Carmichael is a Hall of Famer. Donovan's not going to be Hall of Famer. To me, Donovan's a borderline. I don't even think he should have gotten this number retired. To be perfectly honest with you.
Like the Flyers, they only retire your number if you get into the Hall of Fame.
And that's what the Phillies do as well. And I think they're going to break that, and they should, for Jimmy and for Chase and for I put all three of them in: Ryan, Jimmy, Chase.
Yeah,
because everybody else that has their jersey number retired is in the Hall of Fame. I just don't.
What about Hamels?
No, absolutely.
You don't give it to him.
No,
He's like the fourth one with those three.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't deserve his number. Cole Hamels was a good pitcher, but he's not a. At least Rollins and Utley and Howard were considered for the Hall of Fame. Maybe Utley gets in, maybe Rollins gets in. Howard's not going to. He just didn't have a long enough career. But they were
got screwed in the beginning.
Yeah, he sure did.
What was he? 26 when he came up, something like that.
Yeah. Well, he also played college ball, so he was a little bit old when he came out of the draft because he shot up the.
Oh, he whizzed through it.
He shot up, and then it was a matter of Tomey's blocking him, and then Tomey ends up getting hurt. They're like, "Yeah, we got to get rid of Tomey. This guy's too good." God, he was good. Ryan Howard.
Dude, the beginning of Ryan Howard's career was awesome.
Huh? Yeah, So, like Nick Foles. So this is a good one by Vince. Randall Cunningham. No one ever has worn a 12. Nick Foles. No one's worn the 9. They're not going to retire the number, but they're not going to let anybody wear the number. That's like fair. An unofficial retirement. Why not just retire the jersey?
See, I like that. I kind of like that because the Flyers had that with 31 with Pelle Lindbergh, which I always think was kind of cool. It's like, oh, like he played longer, we definitely probably would have retired him because he would have been a Hall of Famer. But then,
or he would have sucked like some players, and you would have hated him.
Yeah,
who knows?
There's that.
I'm way too tough in the Wall of Fame stuff. If he means a lot to the city, you do it. Well, what's that in response to? Cole Hamels? Cole Hamels is not getting his number retired. I'm just telling you, he's not getting his number retired. I don't know if the other guys are going to get the number retired.
I think you got to give it to definitely give it to Chase and
see, my problem is you can't do one and not the others. Agreed?
I think you could do Chase and Jimmy and get away with it.
I think you could do Chase and Jimmy, not Ryan Howard, but you can't do Chase and not Jimmy and not Chase.
Correct.
Agreed?
Agreed.
Yeah, I just think that, I mean, Brandon Graham has been a great Eagle. Okay? He's been a great Eagle. But when you're talking about retiring a jersey, and this is why I said I don't think Donovan's number should have been retired. I don't care if he's the best quarterback in franchise history. It should be reserved for special players. Brian Dawkins, special player. Harold Carmichael made the Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Famer. Took him a long time. Hall of Famer. Jason Kelsey's going to get his number retired. Are we retiring Fletcher Cox's number too? Who's a better player? Fletcher Cox is a much better player.
Yeah.
And Brandon's had a really good career. Fletcher Cox is a much better player than Brandon.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to say this kind of like tongue in cheek, but like Fletcher Cox for a year or two might have been considered one of the best defensive players in the league.
5-year period, he was an all-pro type, like you said, one of the best tackles in the league. Did a Flyer score?
Yep, with like 30 seconds left or 20 seconds left.
Was it an empty netter?
No, there was 1-1 with the Panthers.
Yeah, so like 71, is Jason Peters getting his number retired? You can't retire everybody's number. It's football. You need these numbers.
Love it. Yeah.
How about Shady?
No.
Right, but I'm not retiring his number either. Shady's a better player than BG, but I get it. Brandon is kind of like he's the organizational guy. There's a reason why you bring him back and you let him retire as an Eagle. He never wears another jersey. I love the fact that they're doing that with these guys. Anyway.
Yeah, especially if they're coming back with. Well, that was the thing that was annoying with Kelsey. It's like, yeah, Kelsey was doing the 1-year thing, but it was always the highest paid center for 1 year. Where Brandon Graham's going to be, way lower on the pay scale. It's not going to affect the salary cap. Bringing him.
Yeah,
back.
He's probably going to be like a $2 million contract with incentives or something.
Whatever the veteran minimum is for 15 years in the league.
So Jimmy Moe, if we're talking about the Eagles Hall of Fame or the Eagles Wall of Fame, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about retiring numbers. The number can never be worn again.
Yeah, you could be on the Wall of Fame or in the team's Hall of Fame and not have your number retired.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, like Rob says it right here. Wall of Fame should have a lower bar than retired number. It's like the Phillies Wall of Fame. The Phillies Wall of Fame, Juan Samuel is on the Phillies Wall of Fame. Like they can put whoever they want on the Wall of Fame. It doesn't matter. They got to put multiple players every year on the Wall of Fame because they have to try to get people out to the park.
Right.
That's what they do.
They do it they have a holiday. They have a weekend every season.
Yeah, come on, give me a break. It's different than retiring a number. Retiring a number is that's other than the Hall of Fame. That is isn't that the most prestigious honor that a team can put on you is to retire the number? Think about the Phillies players' numbers that are retired are Hall of Famers. Steve Carlton and Mike Schmidt are one of the best at their positions ever in baseball. So there we go. Yeah, like Lenny Dykstra in the Wall of Fame. Yeah, right. I hate the Wall of Fame, to be honest with you. Phillies.
I could care less. Period about any of them. It's
right.
It's just whatever. It's whatever. They're It's we know who's great and who's. I'm about the numbers more than anything.
All right, Phillies Wall of Fame, because I look at guys.
Oh, did you just pull up the list?
Yeah, so I'm going to go the most recent. So last year was Ruley Carpenter, John Quinn, and Scott Rowland.
I don't even know two of them.
Ruley Carpenter, former owner. John Quinn, I think, was a former GM. Scott Rowland not only doesn't deserve to be on the Phillies Wall of Fame, I was insulted that they did it.
Didn't he go out on bad? Didn't he go out on bad terms?
He requested to be traded. Yeah, he requested to be traded. Now
I was a kid when he left.
Oh, dude, and I love Scott. I love Scott Rowland. I really did. Did the Flyers win it?
Yes, they did. The Panthers, best team in the league, best team in the league in the standings for sure. They've only lost 6 games since like Christmas, and now 7 games, and the Flyers are 2 of them.
All right. Well, there you go. Like Roy Halladay, of course, Pat Gillick, even Bobby Abreu. Bobby Abreu was a really, really good player here. Manny Trio won a championship. Bake McBride, Ron Reed. Like, all right. Pat the Bat, Tomey. Yeah, Pat Burrell belongs. Does Jim Tomey belong on the Wall of Fame? I guess if Mike Lieberthal, but Mike Lieberthal also was drafted by the team. And
Mike Lieberthal was a homegrown product. Jim Tomey was what?
I hated
was Indians, then Phillies, then White Sox.
Yes,
it's like so. It's
it was a big free agent signing. Yeah, but Lieberthal
but wasn't his best years with the Indians.
Yes, he had a couple monster years here. Jim
Tomey, I know he did. He had
a
couple very good seasons here, but I'm saying he was mostly known for being an Indian, correct?
Yep. Yes. Lieberthal, they never made the playoffs with Lieberthal. He was terrible at calling a game. He sucked. I hate Lieberthal.
That's a longevity award for sure.
Well, it's the Wall of Fame. That's why. Juan Samuel, Billy Hamilton, Sherry McGee, Gavi Kravitz. That must have been a great year that year. Yeah, like whatever.
I don't know any of those names.
Whatever. All right. What else did I have on the agenda tonight that I wanted to get through? All right. So you got to, before we get out of here, you got to do a Flyers trade deadline recap. When is the trade deadline?
Tomorrow, 3:00.
Oh, now are you leaving work early to monitor?
No, I'll be locked. I'll be locked in on my phone all day though.
All right.
Just keep refreshing the screen.
Now, will you tweet? Because I know Vince is looking for you to tweet out anything that you're hearing.
Yeah, I'm locked in on my sources here.
All right. Well, let's do the Sin City Stinger.
do you just want to dive right in, or do you want to give a little?
So we'll play it in a second. So this happened in Las Vegas at, I think it was the Venetian. Yeah, it was the Venetian. So Michael Farchi and his family were staying at the Venetian's Palazzo Tower. This is the day after Christmas, December 26th. And something happened to him when he was sleeping. Here is this KABC in Los Angeles? Where here's the news story.
Vegas, some people go bust, but one local man says he never expected the close encounter he had inside his bedroom at a posh Las Vegas resort. Now he's suing for what he says happened between the sheets. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter here now with the details on that story, and the details are everything. Leanne.
They are, Mark. Certainly going to Sin City can sting sometimes, but usually it's your wallet that takes the hit, not your genitals. But in a Sin City can sting sometimes, but usually it's your wallet that takes the hit, not your genitals. But an Agora Hills man got a sharp surprise in the middle of the night when he says he was attacked by a scorpion on his testicles at a Vegas hotel.
Wow.
I put my eyeglasses, then I was in shock. Then I have a scorpion over there, just hanging on my underwear.
Michael Farchi says the scorpion attacked in the middle of the night as he was sound asleep at the Palazzo at the Venetian in Vegas.
I woke up with a sharp pain in my private area. I was surprised. I didn't know what is that. I reached my hand to see what's happening over there under the cover, and I just got another sharp pain.
The venomous creature stinging Farchi 3 to 4 times. The medical report clearly shows the focus of the injury. It happened to...
Do you know what the first thing that popped in my head when I watched this?
What?
That this guy brought a scorpion in with him and just, it was like, I got a plan here to sue the Venetian.
Well, in the Northeast, we know about rats and mice and things like that. If you're in the Southwest, you know about scorpions. So if you do pest control out there, you're spraying for scorpions and things like that. I've never even seen a scorpion before. But just Googling scorpion in Las Vegas, because I was trying to find the story, there's a ton of stories about how it's that time of year where you got to look out for the scorpions. So not that it makes it okay to get stung by a scorpion in the groin in a hotel room.
December 26th, while Farchi and his family were enjoying a holiday vacation at the Venetian.
nobody staying in Vegas needs to be exposed to deadly scorpions while they're sleeping, let alone on their private areas, their testicles, etc. It's just beyond.
He seems
Farchi
shady.
now suing the high-end hotel for the Sin City stinger. He says he still has some ongoing medical issues due to the traumatizing attack.
It is traumatizing until now, even today. I'm going to bed. I'm checking the covers and everything.
At the time of the scorpion sting, the Las Vegas Health Department had cited several hotels, including the Venetian, for bed bugs. But scorpions?
This appears to be not the first time that scorpions were found in a guest room at the Palazzo, at the Venetian. It's absolutely unbelievable.
Farchi says what really stings about the scorpion attack is how he was treated by the hotel.
The Palazzo didn't even apologize for what happened when I met with the hotel manager, and they just charged me for my room, the restaurant, or whatever I used. No apologies, no nothing.
Farchi is now suing the Venetian for unspecified damages. We reached out to the hotel for comment, but haven't heard back.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Get more great AB.
I bet you haven't heard back. All right, well, there you go. How did the hotel not take care of him? You seem to think that there's something shady going on here, Delco Steve.
I was just the first thing that popped in my head once I saw these two characters. I don't know. It seemed like a plan they would have cooked up.
Well, I mean, I think he was there with his wife, and it's a good question by Vince. Why does he have Reebok underwear? Who has Reebok underwear these days?
Yeah.
Some old
got him on a hand-me-down or a secondhand.
He's not buying underwear at a thrift shop, Steve. So people think it's weird because I saw the people in a tweet that were saying that this can't have happened. It had to be planted. I mean, when you take a look at the lawyer, I think you had said it when we were playing.
The lawyer is what set me over the top.
I'm not hiring that guy.
No way. No way.
Got to get a better looking lawyer that doesn't look like that.
I need to know, was the scorpion in the boxers or on top of the boxer? Like
on top.
Yeah, exactly.
It was on top. They'll thing you through the boxers. By the way, I believe this actually happened. I don't think this is something he's cooking up.
Oh, I definitely think it happened. It's just a matter of how it happened.
They have venom.
I think he got stung by the scorpion, but was he like dangling the scorpion to if you just drop him on yourself, of course the thing's gonna freak out and stab you.
Well, we'll see how much money he's able to get out of it. But
he's gonna get something. They're gonna just pay him just to shut up.
It doesn't seem that way. I mean, maybe they end up doing it, but the fact that they wouldn't comp him the room, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, you think that'd be the easy first step?
You take care of him, you kiss his ass, so it doesn't get to this point, right? I don't know. Sometimes it surprised me. There was a story in, I think it might have been California, but it was an Uber driver that was dropping off a Chick-fil-A drink and fries or something like that, and he gave him the wrong cup. He gave him a cup of piss. So this loser has a cup because he's driving and he can't. I would go in Chick-fil-A and go to the bathroom in Chick-fil-A and wash my hands and leave. But I get it. These DoorDash drivers are trying to make money, and a lot of times they're running from one delivery to the next. So he gave him a cup of pee, and the guy took a sip and realized it was piss. So he contacted, I don't know if it was DoorDash or Uber Eats, whichever one it was. Yeah, and they offered him a credit on his meal. They didn't even respond back until he went to the news that's when they got back to him, and they're like, oh, sorry. But they were whoever he spoke to, they were like, yeah, we'll give you a $10 credit or something. He drank the guy's piss.
Yeah, and then you got to think, the dude's obviously peeing in his car, and then he's handling your food.
Pull it. I'm going to try to pull.
There's a lot of things that go with that,
dude. It's not, and just to think about it, because I was doing my national radio show when this story came out, and I put it out there. It was in Utah. Sorry, it was in Utah, and I put it out there. And I all these delivery drivers calling in, because think about it. If you're listening to radio, and I worked late hours, so on the West Coast, I had people that were driving 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, And I got delivery drivers calling in saying they would routinely steal fries if they were
Like
if there's
picking
an
out of
open
the
bag.
bag.
Yeah, they would eat food out of the bag. And then people would call in and be like, "No, I don't do that." And I'd be like, "Hold on, have you ever done that?" Like, well, if I'm really hungry and there's a fry and I'm not like touching their food, all right, maybe I'd have a fry or two.
I used to be a delivery driver. No, never, ever, ever. No.
I delivered food too. Not a lot, but I've delivered food. Not DoorDash. I'm
No,
thinking about having to do that.
I was a pizza boy in college.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I worked at a couple pizza places doing a lot of everything. So
Yeah, no way.
Yep. Hold on, let me see.
If I found out someone was touching my food, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, but a couple of the guys called in and
and it's not even about like a whole germ thing. It's just be like, no, like that's my food. Don't touch my food. Like I want to eat it.
All right, whatever. I can't find the story here, but anyway. So it also leads to, like, if we were doing a radio show right now, we'd be doing call in with your hotel room stories. So I'd never heard of a scorpion stabbing somebody in the groin area or in the penis with their stinger. But I know that my mom actually she was staying in not a hotel, but like kind of like a motel, but not like a shitty motel, but a motel nonetheless. And she pulled down the bed sheet and there was a used condom.
Oh, your mom?
My mom was where I don't remember where she was, but her and my dad, and they pulled down the bed sheet or whatever. And
your poor mother.
Yes. Many, many years ago. But anyway. Yep. So I think we don't take a black light to the hotel room.
Oh, no. You're asking for trouble on that.
You shouldn't be peeing in the car. Yeah, of course you shouldn't be peeing in the car. Of course you shouldn't be peeing in the car. Absolutely.
If you bring my food, if I find out you brought my food into a bathroom, I am snapping.
Right. Or I mean, you're waiting for you're looking out your window like when's Chick-fil-A showing up, and this guy's taking a leak in a Turkey Hill iced tea jug.
Wait, the guy just happened to pee into a freaking Chick-fil-A cup?
Like, I got see now. I got
that's the question. That's the question there.
Door driver delivers piss. I'm never gonna get it.
I can only imagine what's gonna pop up on your search history from that.
Because let me just see. Food delivery. I should get many more hits than this. I was Grubhub. That's why. All right. Why am I just getting TikTok videos that come up here? I'm sorry. This is probably brutal for me to try to find it. All right, whatever. I give up. I'm out. All right. Flyers.
Like a terrible excuse.
Yeah. All right. No, here it is. I don't know why there's only. Do you have TikTok?
I have it just because people send me shit, and if I want to look at it, it's easier to look at it.
You're not doing videos?
No, not making TikToks. That's for sure.
I don't even have a TikTok.
Oh.
All right, here you go.
It's good for situations like this. You can just look stuff up.
Caleb Woods claims that he went to Grubhub to order fries and a milkshake from his local Chick-fil-A. And when the driver got there, he handed it off and got the fries, got the milkshake. Caleb went to go take a sip of that milkshake. Whoopsie, it was the darkest urine I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Caleb apparently, confronted the driver, who I guess was still around his house when he took that first sip. Asked him if he mixed up the cups or whatever milkshake for the darkest urine he's ever seen. And I guess the driver.
I go fake on this too.
This is in his car. Makes no sense because he's going to restaurants at every stop where he easily use the public restroom. Caleb then reported DoorDash. It took them 4 days to even give him a partial refund, according to Caleb. The flavor profile must have been intense because it was not watered down at all. That was just straight kid juice. So Caleb was out there telling his story of how he's Caleb Pisslips now. We'll see what Grubhub does to make this right.
No, it's not fake because Grubhub commented on
it. How do you not know that there's a difference in consistency of pee and a milkshake? Like you can feel it. Like you can feel it in the cup.
Agreed. So
that wasn't a Chick-fil-A cup. So why are you drinking it? You know it's not yours.
So I shared a studio at WIP with somebody that's nameless, and she used to leave just total disgrace. Coffee cups, oranges, bananas, multiple bottles of mustard. And I didn't complain about it. I didn't go bitching to the program director or other people. I just would go put it in the dishwasher. I would just go put it away, right? But there was this one time where it was in a plastic cup, and I had brought some water in, and I put the water on the left side of my console of where I was, and I would normally put it on the right side, but there was already stuff there on the right side that I hadn't thrown out yet, or I didn't see. I don't know. I don't really remember the setup. And I remember reaching over and putting this cup, putting it up to my, like, ready to take a drink, and I noticed that the temperature of the water wasn't cold. Well, the liquid in the cup wasn't cold, because I just poured this water from a refrigerated thing. So as I was going up, I noticed it wasn't cold, and then I looked down. It was a Luger cup.
Oh.
It was a cup of Lugers and water, but a cup of Lugers and water.
Oh,
probably like 30% Lugers, 70% water, and it was half full. And it was almost like the dip cup beer, the dip can, when you're at a college party or somewhere and you think you're taking a drink and you're drinking someone's dip.
Yeah, no, I've seen that. I've seen people do that, and it's the most disgusting thing I've ever, like, top 5.
Yeah, so all right, loogie cup. Yes. So
that's
yeah,
disgusting. That's
yep.
disgusting.
So I'm glad I didn't drink it, but I've definitely drank beers with cigarettes in them.
Oh, I've seen that happen too, and that's terrible too. Oh, that's brutal.
You go to enough fraternity parties, there are friends in fraternities, you're drinking cigarette beers.
Thank God I wasn't in a frat.
Yeah, I wasn't either, but I knew too many people that were in frats. By the way, I have backup tonight, Steve. Not only did I drink a cup of coffee, but you can't see it because of this thing.
You gotta hold it in front of you. You gotta hold it in front of you.
Like
there
this?
you go.
Okay.
There you go.
This is a Diet Pepsi. I've been craving a soda, and I had to make a run out tonight, and I was driving by a Wawa, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get a soda. So I got a Diet Pepsi. I'm diabetic, so I can't have regular Coke or Pepsi. But I probably haven't had a regular soda since last year, since the summer.
Or you mean like a regular Coke or Pepsi, or you just mean
any soda? Any soda.
I only drink it when it's got vodka in it. So, vodka Sprite.
Nah, Club Soda. Too much sugar.
I don't like Club Soda
or rocks.
I like Sprite.
All right, so I do vodka, splash of pineapple, a little bit of Club Soda just to water it down, and then that's it.
I would drink that.
That's my favorite drink.
I would drink a vodka water before I drink a vodka Club.
I'd be okay with the vodka water. The Club just gives it a little bit of bit
I
of
don't
something.
I don't need the fizz.
Sprite Zero is good too, by the way. I like that. All right, so what's going on with the Flyers, man? We have the trade deadline tomorrow at 3:00. You won't be tweeting about it, just so people know.
I will not be tweeting about it. No, probably not. No, they made a couple moves yesterday. They traded Sean Walker to the Avalanche for a first-round pick. They also received Ryan Johansson, who is salary cap dump for the Avalanche. They picked him up. They picked him up in the offseason from Nashville for absolutely nothing for Nashville to save $4 million on his cap, and Colorado took the other $4 million, and he did not pan out for them. So we took it as a little sweetener for them to give us a first-round pick, which is for 2025, not 2024, which on its face sounds kind of bad, but 2025 is considered a better draft class, which the Avalanche are going to be a good team, so it's going to be probably towards the end of the first round anyway. But then they also re-signed Nick Seeler to a 4-year deal, which I don't understand the length of it. For it was $2.7 a year, I believe, and a no trade clause for the first 2 years. That also doesn't make sense to me. But they also picked up a 5th-round pick in a trade between Calgary and Las Vegas for holding some salary in that.
So what are they trying to do? Because I don't like none of these players or anything. What are they trying to do?
They're trying to thread the needle here. They're trying to sell some stuff, get some assets for the future, keep the rebuild going, while also trying to still contend for the playoffs here.
All right, so content for the playoffs while looking for the future. So you
Correct.
believe they're making good financial decisions in what they're doing, and they have a good plan.
Yeah, I think what they did with Walker was great, but the Sealer deal, he's 31. They got him for nothing a few years back, and I think they would have been able to sell high on him for second or third round pick, but they decided to keep him for 4 more years because they think he's a good locker room guy, locker room presence. But I don't know. So they're appeasing both sides of the fan base at the moment. They're still doing the rebuild with trading Walker, which actually goes back to the Provorov trade last summer where they got a first round pick. So they ended up getting 2 first round picks for Provorov, who has been in decline for a couple of years now, and Columbus even wants to trade him already. So Danny Briere crushed it with the Provorov trade.
Danny B so far looks like he knows what he's doing.
He definitely knows what he's doing.
Good. Good news.
And I think a lot of the rumors from last year were no one wanted to deal with Chuck Fletcher, so teams didn't even want to make deals with him. So we were missing out on we weren't even able to trade James Van Riemsdyk at the deadline last year, and he was a serviceable player. He could have scored goals for a playoff team for sure, but no one wanted to work with Chuck. So now we have Danny, and he's a likable person, and as we talked about with Keith Jones, also a likable person, has a lot of connections around the league. And we're actually able to facilitate some of these deals that we wouldn't have ever been involved in years past.
All right. Well, we will get your recap after it's all said and done tomorrow. Are there any big trades on the horizon, or you think it's just going to be some minor moves?
The only big thing they could potentially do is if they get blown away for Scott Lawton, which they got offered a first round pick last year apparently, and they turned it down. But that was also the old regime. So it's like, I don't know, that I would like them if they get a first round pick for Scott Lawton. I think they should pull the trigger on. I don't think you're losing too much from their lineup as currently constructed.
So no, there's not going to be any big trades because I don't give a damn about first round draft pick and Scott Lawton. This isn't the Eagles. I don't even know what these draft picks do. That's my problem with hockey. I don't know any of this shit.
Well, the good thing about with the stockpiling of picks now, if you we have 4 picks between this first round this year and 2 next year, so you don't have to make all those picks. You need to be able to use those things as ammunition to go trade for a younger players. More if you have those picks, you're more willing to give them up for someone that's more NHL ready right now.
All right.
So it's there's a fine edge there. Hopefully they're not making all those selections and they're actually able to get a young under control player for going forward for the next few years.
All right. What else do we have? Oh, so I wanted to mention this because do you watch Good Morning Football at all on the NFL Network? Probably not, right?
Not usually. Nah.
Do you like the show?
It's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
it is what it is.
Yeah, I like Kyle Brandt's a good deal. I like Kyle Brandt. I don't know, man. It's very cheesy TV-ish. Does that make sense? Like Peter Schrager and I guess Jason McCourty's on it right now. I don't know who the replacement for Kay Adams was. Honestly, I'm not watching Good Morning Football in the morning. I have very little interest in doing that, but it is very successful, and they're moving. Did you see this? So
no.
They're in New York right now. They're moving to Los Angeles, and they're taking pretty much like the rest of the year off, or like the rest of the off season, and then in training camp or the beginning of the year is when they're going to resurface in Los Angeles. So they're going on hiatus. And it's going to be a 2-hour show, and then they're going to try to syndicate it to maybe a separate station, or it's going to stream or something after that. And according to at least this Jimmy Traina, who writes for SI, that there was no mention of the current hosts on the show. And according to his reporting, they didn't even know it was happening until when it was reported. So they found out that they were moving the show. So I mean, if they live in New York and they're working on good
you have your life there.
LA. Right. So they didn't even know about it. And in the press release, they didn't mention any of the host names. They just said Good Morning Football is leaving or is moving to Los Angeles, and it's going to be off for a couple months, which tells you they're prepared to move on without these people if they don't want to move back out to the West Coast. So I would move to the West Coast, but that's just me. So
it's too expensive out there.
Dude, they live in New York.
I guess it's the same in New York. I was about to say it's the same in New York. Never mind.
Yeah, that's why and that's why I would move to Los Angeles. because if you're living in New York, I'd much rather live in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I'll take the weather of Los Angeles.
Hell
over,
yeah.
New York any day.
Oh yeah, well. So I don't, like you said, it's fine. That's why you're saying you don't care and you don't watch it, but you also don't dislike it.
If I'm home and there's nothing else on, I could put it on. But 9 times out of 10, I'm not home.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know who's watching these shows. Who's watching Skip or Shannon and Stephen A. Smith middle of the morning? I know why they do it at that time of day is because then they can repackage it and they can use it digitally. They can use it on SportsCenter. They can use all those clips to kind of set the table for the day. I just don't know who's. If I'm home, I have no interest in watching Skip Bayless and whoever he's talking about. But I guess if you work from home or you're home, yeah,
Skip is the last resort.
I'm watching People's Court over that.
I think I'm watching a blank screen on my TV before I'm watching that.
Would you believe me if I told you I still watch People's Court currently?
That you still watch People's Court?
I currently watch People's Court. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll DVR a couple episodes. It's good TV to watch.
I don't know how you don't have anything better to do with your time. I guess if you're saying it that way, I do the same thing with like Price is Right.
Doing the dishes.
Yeah, put it on. It's in the background.
So when I'm done here, very quick soon, I'm going up. I gotta finish up the dishes, close down the kitchen, wipe all the counters down, straighten up everything else, and I'll either watch a People's Court or an episode of Cops while I do that. So it'll take about 23 minutes.
I do that with Jeopardy. I watch Jeopardy in like 17 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's the only way to do it. Family Feud every night?
I used to watch Family Feud back in the day. Not so much anymore.
I love Family Feud. I think Steve
Harvey
does a great job.
He's hilarious.
He does a great job.
He's freaking hysterical.
Yeah. Wheel of Fortune?
I can't spell, so Wheel of Fortune is not my game.
I do not like Wheel of Fortune. No interest.
It's kind of hard to figure out what the words are when you don't know how to spell the words and you can't, figure them out as you go along.
You would have to have your own special version of Wheel of Fortune where there were misspellings. And we would need to know which words you misspelled so we could come up with the puzzles. So you would know it. Oh man.
It's so bad. I can't spell to save my own life.
No, you can't. You can't. What else do we have here? Maybe that was it. Oh, one other thing. I saw a story, Russell Wilson, where it was like James Palmer of the NFL Network. You know James Palmer, NFL Network. It's actually Scott Palmer's son. So Scott Palmer, who for many years was on Channel 6 and has been with the Phillies, maybe for like last 20 years or so. He's been with the Phillies for a long time. I had no idea that it was his son. I saw Scott a couple months ago, and I don't even know how it came up. He's like, that's my son. And I'm like, no way. Oh, we played a cut from him on the NFL Network talking about something, and Scott was driving, and he heard it. He came to Chicken's Pizza. He just played my son. I'm like, who? Like Scott Palmer's or James Palmer's my son. Like, oh shit, really? Anyway, so he at NFL Network. He said that there wasn't a market for Russell Wilson, and I was like, man, really? He's not going to get a starting job. But then apparently Pittsburgh is interested in him.
Yeah, 2 days after they said they're not going to be interested in any veteran quarterback.
So do you believe it? Or is this just bullshit being put out by the agent?
Someone's bullshitting,
So the story that came out that Pittsburgh's bringing him in is from a longtime columnist there, who I actually used to have on my CBS Sports Radio show. So that's why I like this. To me, this is team. This comes from the team. This doesn't come from the agent.
Yeah, because literally the team just put out. I think it was 2 days ago. They said they weren't going after Wilson, Cousins, Fields, Tannehill, yada yada yada. Like,
and you know what though? I believe them then, because they just drafted Pickett. He was a first-round draft pick 2 years ago.
Yeah. So terrible first round pick decision at that point. In my opinion.
He sucks.
But when no quarterbacks are gone by 20, and you're like, yeah, this is great. Like, there's a reason he's the first quarterback off the board at 20.
All right, so what's the thinking behind it? Because if you bring in Russell Wilson, you're more or less saying, we don't think Kenny Pickett can play.
Well, the thing with Russell Wilson is you could pay him his minimum, which is $1.2 million, and he's going to get all the money from the Broncos still. So you have a rookie quarterback contract with Russell Wilson where you could build your team around that type of player.
You would have to think that if you get if you can get a guy that manages the game, and Russell Wilson's stats last year looked a lot better than he played, but still, if the Steelers would have had Russell Wilson last year, that's a much better team. Kenny
100%.
Pickett sucks. I mean, I would start Mason Rudolph over Kenny Pickett, but they know that he's not the answer. So in the short term here, they know they're not going to be able to get their next quarterback. If they already know Kenny Pickett's not the guy, and they feel like this roster is good around them, it makes a lot of sense to bring Russell Wilson in. But you're also saying to Kenny Pickett, you're not the guy. And you don't have to trade him. You can keep him there. He'd be under contract for 2 more years. You could trade him if you wanted to.
You could do what the Jets were hoping to do with
Aaron
Rodgers and Zach Wilson.
Right. Yeah, Kenny Pickett just doesn't have, he's just not good enough. He just doesn't have enough skill.
It's just, but once it's like once the cat's out of the bag, you can't put it back in, sort of thing on that. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you go to Russell Wilson for 2 years or even a year, you're not going to be able to hope that you develop Kenny Pickett to be the starter once Russell Wilson's gone.
40th
so I think
birthday weekend. 40th birthday for Michael Richmond. You're 40, dude. Happy birthday, Mike. I know Mike for a long time, man. Happy birthday. Have fun up there.
Happy birthday, Mike.
My wife is actually going away for her 40th birthday that was in January, but her sister had scheduled a trip for March where a bunch of her girlfriends can go. So they're going away this weekend.
So you got the kids all weekend?
It's only one night. It's only Saturday night, which is nothing. Yeah, I would love that. I would love to have the kids all weekend. Yeah, believe me, the kids are easy.
Watch yourself. Watch yourself.
Dude, I'm trying. Believe me, I've already had the conversation in my head because, before you go away for the weekend, is there some snuggling that goes
Watch
on?
yourself. Watch yourself.
Because I always feel like that there should be. I'm just kidding.
I need a shock collar for you so I can hit the button.
Oh my God. But the instincts are correct, man. The instincts to talk about are correct. Anyway, all right. So let's play Lane Johnson and we'll get out of here. All right.
Oh, yeah. We want to terrorize the people.
What is this? Why is he doing this?
Imagine seeing this dude in a dark alley.
All right. So he tweeted this
Let's
out.
Let's just show it.
All right. Yeah, just play it. Here's Lane Johnson. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. And why he's wearing that. 705 pounds. Oh my God. Why can't
that just looks uncomfortable.
Anyway.
You want to
No, I don't need to see his junk again. No, there's no need to see the junk. That's why he could have had done the same thing and put shorts on that could have came down a half inch more on his leg. And that's it. And by the way, I thought the same thing. It's like, dude, your season, I guess your season ended a while ago now. It seems like the season just ended. But
yeah, they've been done since the beginning of January.
He's certainly not getting fat and old. Lane Johnson, he's carrying 705 pounds.
It's disgusting. I can only imagine. Why
doesn't he just get nude and do it? Why are we like just get?
He'll get turf burn on it. That's why he doesn't nude.
I don't need it, and it is true. Lane did look like he was wearing the Reebok underwear from the Scorpion story.
If he was wearing that guy's boxers, we'd have a way bigger problem.
Damn, you're not kidding. Be like, anyway. All right. Well, there you go. That's the show for you. We'll be back tomorrow night at 9:00. And remember, like, follow, comment, and subscribe at John Marks Media. Don't follow Steve on Twitter because he's not going to do anything.
No, nope. Send me shit on Twitter.
Instagram as well. Oh, and by the way, Steve, remember tomorrow night because your sister's walk's coming up in 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
2 weekends from 2 weeks from Sunday.
Right. So 2 Sundays from now, and we got to get the information out there because I'd love to have some of our viewers come out and support it. So let's make sure we talk about that tomorrow, and let's get a fresh Instagram post out there on it as well.
Sounds good.
But again, like, follow, comment, and subscribe at John Marks Media. Have a great night. See ya.